can hear that, right?
Oh, I can hear it. I can also feel it.
Hello and welcome to another Woodshop podcast with Mike Coffey of Coffee Custom Builds, Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks,
I feel it right down
Peter
the
Kapar
bottom of my
Peter's
hot dog
Workshop.
bowl.
You can find us all as well as the podcast on Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome to episode 155 of another Woodshop podcast, brought to you entirely by OpenAI, where we feed the entire pre-show into ChatGPT and it tells us exactly what to say for the next hour plus. Anyways, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome our guest this week, Silent Bob from Clerks. But before we get to him, Mike, what's going on?
Hey, literally everything, including this, is scripted by AI. Thank you, AI, for making podcasts happen. Now, Dan, you need to put in the more you know sound there. So it sounds like a full ad read.
The pause
I don't know how it sounds, actually. It's escaping me.
I actually cannot remember how to filter the Patreon web page right now. So I'm going to tell you, we have some VIP patrons, and I'll figure out how to do that. Oh, here we go. Join date. What a bozo. These are not new ones. So, oh wait, Alan Tag. Is that a new one?
That might be
Is it a new one?
That I'm not familiar with the name. Here's another new one, apparently.
I can't believe this is all scripted.
Brim. Yeah, thank you, AI. You've made this so
Nick
easy.
Brim's card just got declined because, you know.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up publicly that Nick Brim's card was declined and that he had to re-up on.
Hey, thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick Aloysius Brim for having no. Bill Parker Combs, new patron, looks like April 1st. So anyway,
Is that
Benjamin.
Alan
Is that an April
Tag
Fool's
is a
joke?
new one.
Yeah, Alan. I'm reading the new ones. Give me a second here. Yeah, March
Hey, he's
30th.
new at
Yeah,
this,
so
Pete.
we've got like 4 of them. Don't worry.
He hasn't done this in like a month.
Benjamin is also Benjamin
just Benjamin.
Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Jerusalem, has become a patron. No, Benjamin.
Jerusalem?
I don't
Isn't
know.
that a city?
Israel. You're right.
Israel. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway,
I am
thanks,
also
Benjamin.
the geography guy. I don't know if you know this or not.
Yeah.
We never got into it. So
You're a mathematician.
Math magician. Anyway, thanks to all those new folks, but also I want to say a big thank you to our VIP patrons. That's Alex Copajon, Andrew Deering. Is this correct? Is this current? Hold on a second.
Nope, that's
I
not
think we're
correct.
saying words now. We're saying
Okay,
names.
Alex Copajon's Bill Burkle, Daniel Bryson, Justin with Cavalry Customs, Christian Tung, Malcolm at Bossa Nova Woodworks, Matt Maynard at Patriotic Pines, Max and Mindy Coons, Michael Flickinger, Michael Lydon, Square Splinter, Steve Iadarola. It's Iadarola, not Latarola. I had that corrected to me. It's Iadarola.
That's why I've been saying it when you're gone.
So yeah, big thank you to thems. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank
so
guys.
much. Thank you, AI, for helping me say all that. I don't
these
really remember
words.
what we do.
AI
next
generated
week.
names.
Ask
talk about
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, what are we supposed to be doing? Oh, it is apparently this.
Oh my
Is
gosh.
that what we do? What do we normally do here?
We haven't done this in like a
feel
week.
I feel like we have a guest normally, so we kind of ask them about stuff. But we're going straight to what's on my bench, so we're kind of rocking and rolling through it. I mean, Dunleasel, what's your week looking like?
Fun fact: when my family came over from the Czech Republic, that was our actual name, Dunweasel. No,
At Ellis.
I was
You guys changed it to Ellis. Oh,
No,
you were asking
a different
ChatGPT if
island
that
in
was in
Nebraska.
fact true. When we landed at what's that Murdoch
Plymouth
Island?
Rock.
Not Rupert Murdoch. No, what's the rich guy out there with at Buffett Island?
Epstein Island.
Oh
Ooh,
no,
Epstein Island. Oh, too soon.
No.
No.
Okay.
Or-
I'll never speak of my Uncle Jeffrey again.
No, please.
Anyway.
Nobody
Oh,
wants to hang out with
God.
him.
No, what? No, we don't do that. We don't do those jokes. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, 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 no.
Too soon?
No, no.
Oh, my God.
no.
Dan, what's on your
Anyway,
bench?
Dan, bow ties, huh?
Nervous laughter.
I'm glad I
really weird
came back to
script,
this. Yeah.
Bow ties and
ChatGPT
inserts. Everybody knows
we
about
literally
that. But
can't be held liable for anything said because ChatGPT wrote this whole script.
absolutely everything. I have the transcripts. It even told me what I did this week, which is I actually started working more on the farmhouse table. I started to put together the base. I whipped out the top. I put on breadboard ends, but I didn't do an official like Mike did. I used my DF700 domino.
Whoa.
And I recorded the process, and I was able to do one breadboard end in 20 minutes
Damn.
with the domino.
Seems like you should be able to set 5 dominoes in 20 minutes. That makes sense.
I mean, some of that was waiting for glue.
Well, it's like 5 minutes of throwing a toy for Max.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Getting my Napster app up and running.
Your Napster appster.
Yeah.
He's a mayor of his couch. Like
I am.
it's the four
How do you know?
square or
True,
whatever.
you're writing up an outline to do a class at Workbench Con on Etsy. Is that the rumors are true?
secret.
Oh, it's a secret.
That's super
Is
secret.
all this being
Super
edited out?
secret.
Okay, whoops.
Oh, see, now
What are
people
you
are gonna
talking
take
about?
our idea and make tens of dollars.
Just edit it
instead of
out,
us.
or cover it with
Maybe
me
somebody
saying that
else will do the
audio
class, and
phone
Pete
or-
and I will just go there and mock them the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong. So
Have
yeah,
you heard
I,
of pirate ship, idiot?
Shut up. I want to hear what Dan says. Dan's like a
Yeah.
big old hot dog bowl of knowledge. Go.
Hot dog bowl of knowledge. That's absolutely the show title.
oh, I have to write this down now. Bowl.
Yeah, you do.
How do you
so
spell
yeah,
knowledge? Just kidding. That's a joke.
it's a silent N.
Okay, so I did the farmhouse tabletop. That thing is going to look so amazing when I put finish on it. Obviously, we don't have Clara walnut around here in Nebraska, but if I had to guess, I think the stuff that I have for this top, because I picked through a bunch of 6/4 walnut, and it's going to look very Claro-esque to me, quite frankly.
Just really
Anyway,
figured.
really figured. It's got a lot of variations in the color of it. It's just gonna be really gorgeous.
Are
I
you
can't
building
wait
a
to
base
put
for
finish
that
on it.
too?
Yeah, I'm building a
Nice.
base, and I'm gonna make it
Oh, that's not the. Oh, that was another table. Never mind.
cool. That was a good-
what's
building
the
a
base gonna
farmhouse
be?
base. Basically, I got legs from Osborne Wood Co.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And then the client wants a leaf in it, so I got the extending hardware from Rockler, and so I'm gonna throw a leaf in it, and hopefully it doesn't buckle, like Mike talked about a couple episodes ago.
You'll be fine.
Perhaps I'm gonna put some C channel in there just to
Mayhaps.
make sure. Just to make sure. What
be
else did I? Oh, I started making a porch swing today, but the porch swing is gonna hold like a twin size bed, so it's gonna be like
cool.
a day bed porch swing.
Ooh,
Making
Day
that,
bed. Must of the night.
how did you like work that?
I've been watching a
Always
lot of
Sunny.
It's Always Sunny. All right.
Yeah, it's a great show.
It shows.
I try to work the dentist system in every aspect of my life.
Right.
I'm making that day bed porch swing thing out
I
of
can only hear that song now. Whatever you say.
Cambia ash, that thermally modified, super baked ash. It looks like
Are
walnut.
you concerned about it cracking?
No,
With how brittle that stuff is?
No,
Are you
I'm
doing this
not.
like rails and stuff? Lots of
Yeah,
cross
it's-
supports. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be fine.
This stuff's super strong. It's gonna be just fine. Yeah.
Did that, cleaned out the shop a little bit today, threw away a bunch of stuff, and it's amazing how much room it feels like there is in there now. Once you get rid of a bunch of like stuff that's just been laying
We did
around
the
and in
same
the way.
yesterday. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness. It feels like there's so much more room in there. Don't let that confuse you in to believe in that like I don't want a bigger shop. I still want a bigger shop, but like
Also, it's not clean. There's just less stuff.
yeah, it's not clean. It's just
We got rid of
less
some of
clutter.
the aids.
Yeah,
You still
yeah.
have aids, but we got some of the aids gone.
Yeah. I injected a little chlorine bleach into the
Oh.
veins
Just
of the
inject
shop.
money, right? Isn't that how it works?
I don't know. Anyway, my week has been okay. What about you, Pete?
Oh, that's me. What did I do this week? Oh, so I revamped the print shop because I unboxed my new Bambu X1 Carbon. I did a
Ooh,
bunch of test prints on it. This
I
printer
know some of those
is,
words.
yeah, this printer is, the hype is real. It's stupid fast. It's
So
so far
sick.
very reliable. And honestly, the biggest thing for me is the 4 spool changer. So you can do 4 colors, but not just colors, you can do different materials. So I'm just constantly like, oh, print this and this material, this and this harder
Can
material.
you
this with
get
that.
Chat GPT to run your 3D printer?
No, because you're not chatting with it, you're printing. So you go to printgpt.uk.co,
Oh, nice.
and
High
Dot
quantity.
Kim.com.
kim.com. And yeah, so I'm super stoked about this thing. It's really, it's going to be really awesome. I already printed like a bunch of prototypes or things that I'm working on for something else. I'm able to throw it in there, get prints out way faster. And it's enclosed, so the temperature is maintained very well inside it. And that's actually very important when you're printing with PLA or any kind of plastics, because stuff can warp if it's really cold in a room. A lot of times people are like, they have like prints lift off the bed while they're printing. It's because there's cold air hitting it, and it literally makes cold makes things shrink. Guys, am I right?
I know this.
Yeah.
I have evidence.
High
Want to see
five.
it?
If you high five me while you're driving your truck, I love you. All right. So this thing's really awesome. And Mike and Dan, if you ever get into 3D printing, that's the one
I'm
you gotta
not.
get.
I'm getting that one. I canceled my order. I just wish I hadn't, but I canceled it because I had this
It
machine
ships
coming.
pretty fast now.
No,
I'm
it's,
saying
it's
this
not even
right
that,
now.
it's just-
I'm saying this right now, and people can check back a couple years from now. I will never 3D print, ever.
I want
They
one
have
for
a-
stuff in the shop so bad, like so bad.
You'll get one. You'll end up getting one once things calm down.
I'm
Ha,
ordering it
this
right
is a
now. Let's
joke.
do this.
No, you have a what's on a bench. Keep focus. And Dan, there's 3D printers out there that 3D print drinks, like with alcohol and different syrups and stuff, so you can tell it like, oh,
And
old
that's
fashioned. It'll print you one.
really like you have a drinking problem. You need something to print them. Yeah, I have one too. It's called a bottle of alcohol.
Excuse me, they did it on Star Trek, and I'm actually mean Star Trek, not Star Wars, like Dan always calls it. Anyways, but that's not the exciting thing about the
Geek
printer. So the
movies.
printer got set up. Not only that, I bought another Prusa on top of the 7 I have, because my buddy got a Bambu and he's like, I don't need my Prusa. I'm like, I'll give you this much.
That reminds
sold
me,
it to
somebody in my stories was having problems with their Prusa today, and I can't remember who.
Yeah, send them to Prusa support.
Oh, okay.
I get printer questions all day. But like, I am capitalizing on the whole thing of like, people are getting rid of one set of printers for the Bambu or whatever. And my print farm's still going to continue to run on those for the most part, except I'm going to probably going forward get more Bambus as well to add them to the fleet. But
Did
I was
they
able to
get
get a printer fairly
bamboozled?
And aside from that, I did a little revamp in my print shop. So I moved some stuff around. I'm going to be adding another bench. So we're actually not going to be expanding the room. We're just going to reorganize it a little better. So we'll have more space for these printers. And I got one of those like Husky adjustable height workbenches. And that thing's just awesome. I've had one as a workbench in my main shop, and it's just so nice to have those drawers there. Also along the same lines, I shot a video on the Bambu.
What?
Yeah. So I wrote out a script and
Like a
we shot
YouTube video or Vimeo?
I shot a series 372 vines that I will combine into one video on YouTube. So
Is it going to be on Pornhub later?
Hey, whoa. Watch your mouth.
Am I not allowed to say that?
My
on this
mom listens
podcast?
to the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mom.
Is our only Polish listener. But I shot the video, I got all this stuff done. I just need a little bit more B-roll around some of the new prints that I was doing. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I got like excited to do a video again. And big shout out to Jeff from Two Moves. He got me like motivated to shoot something. And we were chatting about like what to do. And he's like, dude, just do a story, an 8-minute story. You're gonna have fun with it, unbox it, talk about what it means for the business, like you do in your stories. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually a great idea. Like almost a little vloggy, but like I'm not gonna do like a whole like tool review and benchmarks and whatnot. But I'm pretty stoked. So that's all shot. Just need to finish editing, and I am going away. Dan, you have something to say? You feel like
Yeah, you reminded me that I actually, it's more of a what's on my bench upcoming, but like
yeah. Talk
I
about
came up with a couple ideas that I did some research, and there's nothing like it out there in the social media sphere, and I can't wait to make it a thing. It's going to be awesome. Coming soon.
And that's
I'm not saying what it is. I'm not saying what it is because I don't want anybody.
But you're going to be doing a what around them?
A video, yeah, a video.
Thank you.
Yes. YouTube or Vimeo or Pornhub.
So yeah, I got the video. I just need to get it edited, but I'm not gonna be able to get it out this week. And then next week I'm away. So little programming note while I'm talking. These guys are gonna do an IG live instead of a YouTube live. Because I usually
we could still do a YouTube live with just the apps on our phones. You can invite people now. You can do multiple people.
If you guys want to do that. And
okay. I don't want to. We'll do IG.
I'll be back next
IG just seems
a week after that. So I'm
all about easy.
We're going to the DR for the whole week, and I'm stoked. And
downtown Rhode Island.
Downtown Rhode Island. So downtown, it's in the Caribbean, because that's how far Rhode Island extends. Yeah, Bermuda, Bahama, come to me, mama. So I'm stoked. I'm gonna be away for a week at a resort, and I'm gonna have a blast. So make sure to send me messages so I can ignore them till next week. Mike, what's up with you?
When are you leaving for that though?
Sunday.
This coming Sunday?
Yes.
So like when this episode drops,
you'll be
when this episode drops, you'll be going up.
I'll be on the beach.
Cool.
Yeah. Or yeah, whatever. And my house will be here with people in it and security cameras.
In case anybody wanted to break in.
Good save.
Tools.
Good save. Yeah.
There sure won't be no one
we're
there.
Covered. Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to feed Binks.
There won't be a bunch of free 3D printers that Pete was just bragging about. And I'm struggling. No,
he's got an attack cat. So.
Yeah, Binks will slash you up. The Wolverine of kitties.
She'll cut you. Mike, what's up with you? Did you get any shiny toys? No? Let's move on.
Nothing. Got
bow
a few
ties.
Guess been doing bow ties and endless.
Actually,
no,
I got barbells. It's barbells.
I got a last Thursday I wasn't here because I was on Shaper. I went down to Shaper's headquarters, Shaper Tools headquarters. That was really fun. Got to see some things. I saw some stuff, man. Got to see some things. Had to sign some documents saying I didn't see those things, so that's not fun. But I got to go down there, hang out with some of my friends down there. Did a session with them. That was really fun. I got a fiber laser. I don't know if I don't think I talked about that on the show. I got the Thunder Aurora Pro 8 Pro. I might have backwards, but it's a 50-watt fiber laser. Pretty cool laser, man. The software is pretty bad, but it's not their fault. They don't make the software. It's a software called EasyCAD. The hardware is pretty straightforward. It's just the software is it's just not great. You can't run
Talk to me like I'm a complete idiot and I don't know anything about lasers. What is the difference between...
We have been this whole time?
Okay.
Love
no. So
what's the difference between a fiber laser and
the differences are that a CO2 laser can't mark or cut metal or any sort of metal items. CO2 laser can. So I have a 150-watt CO2 laser. I love that machine. It's great. Does a lot of great things. It's more in line with my business in terms of the fact that it does mostly wood. That's what we use it for. I wanted a fiber laser to do tumblers because we end up getting pretty busy with tumblers. And I just kind of wanted to have one to mark tools. So I have one of the things that I'm going to use it for, like, that's really inconsequential, is that I have a blade sharpening service that comes and picks up all my blades for all the tools, because we have we have duplicates of everything. And I was like, oh, it'd be nice to engrave my logo and phone number on there, so they don't have to put a sticker on there whenever they're done with them. So anyway, things like that. It's nice to be able to mark metal business cards. I was going to talk about this, but we did a job walk. Sean and I did a job walk about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It was a big job walk. And, it was just nice having the meeting with the big wigs and then handing them an all metal business card with my stuff on there. It was like, they're like, oh, this is dope. It's like it's like a statement. It's like a power move. It was cool. So, making those business cards is cool, and marking up the tools and stuff. In terms of the other things I'll use it for, like, probably I'll be using it for maker's marks, for my maker mark. I'll do that out of brass and copper.
I also mark my liquor bottles.
Yeah, exactly. So some of that stuff. I've been getting into more metal work. What's up, Dan?
Are you just going to do a bunch of content where you're just cleaning up old pennies and stuff?
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm not going to do any cleaning metal.
You got to do one where, like, you laser like
there's already so much
deal with it glasses on Lincoln. Yeah.
Oh man. But I'll do it on a bunch of them. So I'll flip book it so it looks like a time lapse for it. Yeah.
Well, that was implied.
That's of course
they're falling down.
Assumed. Hot dog bowl. Yeah, so it's it's a cool machine. It's really cool. I'm really excited to share more of that. I'm gonna do there won't be a ton of content, but there is some content obligations on that thing, so I'll be sharing that for sure. It does some cool stuff. It's a powerful laser. I mean, it's amazing watching it. It goes so fast how quickly it will burn metal. It's just really fast.
Well, if you need some old pennies or something, you just let me know. I got a jar full.
Well, they do call you old bag of pennies. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they call
I've had that nickname since high school.
So one thing I didn't realize about fiber lasers, they actually have like a big lens. Like it's a huge lens compared to the CO2.
It's massive, yeah. And it moves
that's why it's able to do so fast.
Yeah, it's just like
with all that fiber, you got to have a bigger hole for all the poop to fall out.
It literally runs on oatmeal.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
What else, Mike? What other?
No, I just wanted to have that really awkward. Yep, us hard stop after poop and fiber. And then I got a new CNC. I got a Laguna.
What else?
Then I got a sick mechanical pencil. It is pretty cool. No, I got the new CNC. For 10 minutes. Yeah, got the new CNC in last Friday. That was so I got my machine was upgraded from a Smart Shop 2 Pro to a Smart Shop 2 SUV, which is amazing because it has a more rigid frame, but it's all servos instead of steppers. There's no steppers.
It's also built like a Chevy Tahoe. Yeah.
It seats 8 and it has a big block Chevy in it.
I don't care about any of that. How many cup holders does it have?
Every seat has 2 cup holders. No, it was they were like when it was being shipped out originally, I was planning on getting a reach lift to get it, and they're like, hey, it's 2,700 pounds. But the SUV compared to the other machine it's like 3,900 pounds. It's a much heavier machine because instead of having 6-inch,
that's heavier.
That's heavier, yeah. Instead of having 6-inch tube steel rails, it has 8-inch tube steel rails for the whole thing. It's massive. It weighs so much. So I had the great all I had could barely lift that machine. It was real iffy. I'm
just imagining like Sean and Matt hanging off the back.
Yeah, it was literally like something you'd see in a video from India. Like it was super rigged up. Like the whole thing, we had like a bunch of goats on a stick at the end to balance out the weight. It was ridiculous.
They're loading CNCs on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's like one Vespa, but there's 50 of us on the front side to hold it from flipping over. No, it was fine. Everything was fine, but it was fine. It took literally the whole day to get it to the shop, in the shop, off the crate. It was quite the ordeal. I ordered some of those heavy duty industrial dollies since then because
the ones from Harbor Freight, just the little wooden ones.
Yeah.
No, those I have those. Those all cracked. All of them cracked.
Oh, you tried to use them?
Yeah, we tried to use them because they're 1,200 pounds. We're like, okay, 1,200 pounds, but we didn't realize. I looked up the. Yeah, we were picking up one side with the great all, and they had those on the other side. And as soon as I lifted, it's all and then turned into diamonds from the pressure. But no, it was.
I mean, that's a good way to pay back your CNC debt, I guess.
Yeah, it was
big diamonds.
It was super dumb, but anyway, yeah. So we got that set up. I didn't really do much. So there's a lot, and we'll kind of talk about this because someone has a question about CNC costs. These machines, these big industrial this isn't even an industrial machine. This is like a pro level.
It's a hobbyist
machine, I would guess. Yeah, this is a hobbyist CNC. This is like a pro level. It's not. I wouldn't even say it's industrial. Some of the industrial.
You got it on Amazon. Stop lying.
Yeah, it's there's a lot that goes to it. Like it needs. I had to buy an 80-gallon air compressor because it needs constant air. The bit changing, the auto tool uses air. It actually this is an audio podcast, but the spindle comes down.
Mike is lowering his hand.
Yeah, I'm lowering my hand.
A finger up.
Yeah, the spindle comes down and actually like the airlock.
Now there's a twisting motion.
You hear it go, and it grabs the spindle and pulls it in. It's pretty wild to watch. But it also uses air for the hood. The dust hood goes up and down on pneumatics.
And then you got to get nitrogen for the tires for sure.
Right. And then underlighting, you got to get the underlighting.
And the undercoating.
I have a perfect analogy. If you're trying to think of like how the spindle grabs the actual bit, think of like when Dan inhaled the piece of sausage and it got stuck in his throat. It's like that. And then it
It's
has
almost
like a
the same
Heimlich
noise.
mechanism in there that detaches it later.
And then there's a sausage wiggling around out of his. No, it was. It's pretty wild. But anyway, there's a air compressor, a pre-filter, an air dryer, which is like $1,500. There's
An air
another
dryer.
Yeah, you have to dry the air. You can't have. Yeah, it's just one of those air blow. No, it's it like
You put your hands in it.
Yeah, you have to put your hands in it. It's stupid. I don't know why you even need it for the scenes. I guess you can't get the CNC dirty or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but yeah,
It's
it
got a
goes to a
bidet.
filter. It goes to a pre-filter for particulates, and then it goes to an air dryer that pulls all the air out of all the moisture out of the air, and then it goes to another filter, and then it can go off to the tooling. But the nice thing is now I have one air compressor that runs the CNC. We have a hose reel in there for blowing stuff off, and the laser all runs off.
Can you take the air right off the tool and like spray it at somebody's face and give them instant chapped lips because it's so dry?
Yeah, exactly. It just soaks all the moisture out of the air. It's insane. It's like a we were gonna get a kiln, but I just spray the wood with that thing now, and it's pretty amazing.
There you go.
We have no need for that anymore. Saved me $65,000. Thank you, air hose. No, but yeah, there's a lot of setup, and it's a new machine. The whole interface is completely different. It was a big learning curve. We cut our first pocket today, and we
just made a tiny tray like this, didn't you?
It was
like a little.
No, it was literally
tray.
like a 3/4 inch wide hole that was 2 inches long and 3/4 of an inch deep. This thing is moving so fast. Like it ran my 1/2 inch downcut bit at 800 inches a minute.
That's fast.
That's so fast. And it's cutting
fast.
It cut 3/4 inch depth
with a 1/2 inch bit.
With a 1/2 inch bit, I can do 3/8 inch compression bit at full 3/4 inch depth. No chatter, perfect finish. It's stupid. That's stupid. Crazy. So it is so incredibly fast. It's ridiculous. And it's just the spindle is so much quieter. The thing moving around is so much quieter, but everything else is so loud. But we're learning now that having the air compressor, so really exciting news. The air compressor and the vacuum pump is crazy loud. It sounds like a jet engine starting up. It's like, whoo, and it's so loud, and it's constantly putting off heat. So we're going to build a shed right outside the shop to put the air compressor and the vacuum pump in so that those aren't in the shop anymore. And then I've been kind of alluding to this, but I'm getting some new dust collectors in the shop. Both of them are going to be actually exterior. So the CNC shop is going to have an exterior dust collector, and so is the main shop. So we're not going to have those in the shop anymore, which is going to be so nice.
That opens up a big footprint.
Yeah, the new dust collectors actually have a huge footprint. They're like
but they're going to be outside of the shop,
right?
So
they're going to be 3 or 4 times the size of the current machines, but they won't be in there at all anymore. So it's going to be so nice
like
to
a
clean
little
up that
housing
space.
thing for it.
No, that it's exterior rated.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's an exterior rated dust collector. So
is that one of the ones that have like a giant cone on it, and then like a truck can back up to it, and you could just dump all the. Yeah, we used to have those when I worked at that MDF factory. That's what we had. We had giant ones.
I can't talk about it exactly because I'll talk about it as soon as I can, but I can't talk back exact. It's similar to that, but I can't talk exactly about it because I'm going to be one of the first people with this new setup with this company. So it's going to be cool. I'll tell you guys about it off air here. But anyway, yeah, it drops the dust into a big hopper that we can come with the tractor and pick it up with the forks and go dump it on the property somewhere. It's going to be really cool. So that's going to be super helpful. So, and it's
on the neighbor's property.
Right.
Dumps like a truck.
It's a 600 gallon hopper. So that should last
a lot of gallons.
Carry the
or sometimes just a couple days, but we'll see.
Yeah, mine's like 30. Anyway. So get close.
Yeah. Sometimes we empty the P-Flux 3 10 to 15 times a day. It's insane. So when we have milling days going,
that seems
that's bonkers. Well, for milling days, yeah, I get it.
For milling days, it gets nuts. So anyways, that's the biggest things going on. We've got all the events companies around here are like, everything's coming in full swing with the events companies. Yeah. Everyone's replacing all their fleet stuff right now. Like all their rentals, we're redoing so much right now. All 4 of my big events companies are redoing everything right now. We've got we're doing a media console that's going out to Hollywood It's gonna be done later this week. I'll probably have it done on Monday, actually, not later this week. I guess it is later this week now. But we freighted out a lot of stuff over the last few weeks. That's been good. Once you get into the rhythm of freighting stuff, it just really isn't that big of a deal. Like, it's just like shipping anything else. Like, you just get into it. Once you get with a company that works well and you jive with, it just really isn't that daunting. And as long as your costs are covered, then everything's smooth. So, if anyone has more questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk about it. But yeah, we're just busy. Lots of stuff going on right now. I'll talk about more of the other stuff next week when I'm not going on and on about it. I guess the next thing to do is to listen to questions, right?
I guess.
We don't have a voicemail thing, right? We just play voicemails.
Voicemail.
Voicemails.
You guys.
No, that's not it.
I'm the jingle guy. Stop it.
Okay, sorry. This first question is from Malcolm. He has this.
Didn't you want to do the
You're right.
Jeremy one
I did,
first?
but I'm distracted because Luna is freaking out right now.
Is she farting?
So, no, she's just moving around and freaking me out. I don't know what she's doing. But let me read this one from. We want to do this Jeremy one, right? For about the CNC question. So
you answered half of it.
Yeah. So kind of. You guys are gonna have some stuff to talk about too. I mean, everyone has different stuff. I haven't even gone into a lot of it. So this is Jeremy from Purified Woodworks. He's looking for some advice about buying a CNC in the future, maybe the near future. I just fully got into custom furniture and cabinets. He was a carpenter before, and I have some big jobs coming down the pipe. Kitchens for 26 suites. Good for you. MDF shaker doors. He's just doing doors. Interesting. Anyways, to the point, I've looked at the price for getting an Avid 4x8 or 5x10, about $20,000 to $25,000 Canadian. I want to use it for all kinds of stuff from cabinet doors to slab flattening to engraving and everything in between. My question is, do you recommend Avid or something else? And what are some of the expenses and things to know that come with buying a CNC? Thanks a lot. You guys have been a great fountains of knowledge and inspiration. I'm going to throw it to Dan first so I can let this dog out. Dan, thoughts on CNC costs?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to Avid or what CNC you should buy. Obviously, a 150 is my expertise, sort of, so to speak, but it looks like you're looking for something bigger, so I have nothing to add there. However, when you buy a CNC like that, you have to realize that bits are consumable, so be prepared for that. I myself go through 5-10 bits a week. I'm sure Mike probably goes through just about as many, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I go through a lot of bits, basically because I'm running my machines 8 hours a day. And then there's the cost of like dust collection and all the stuff that Mike was just talking about that he's going to get into again. And then there's, software that you're going to need to run those machines and to compile your G code. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of costs that people don't realize. There's lots of stuff. Pete, what am I missing? I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff.
No, you're hitting all the points. I mean, your biggest consumables is obviously bits. And somebody else actually does a little offcut, different segment, where they talk about some like hold down solutions too for like the brad nails, but we'll get to that. But like, yeah, your bits are going to be your biggest thing. Aside from that, you need a good dust collector, especially if you're going to be cutting MDF. You're going to need a big dust collector. And like in most cases with the smaller CNCs, with not all CNCs, like Mike's he kind of talked about the bigger machines, but in most cases, all you need is a CNC and a really good dust collector. And I cannot stress enough a really good dust collector.
Let me just cut you off real fast. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say you can get really far with a not crazy expensive dust collector, but you do just need one that can move volume.
You need something.
Volume, yeah.
You need something. Yeah, you don't need to drop. You don't need to get like a PFlux 1 or a PFlux 3 or any of those big machines. You just don't need to. We have the Rockler 750 Dust Right on the Swift now because of the situation when we're moving stuff around. It's doing great. Like it's really dedicated, great.
Right?
It's dedicated. That's all it does.
That's actually good. Yeah. So it needs to be a dedicated dust collector.
Yeah, I wanted to say one of the problems that I'm running into right now with my new Journeyman and the Z slider from Onefinity and the spindle is it's so new. There's not a lot of dust boots out there right now that will fit that configuration. So I'm running it without a dust boot, and I'm just going over and, you know, doing dust collection manually here and there. And occasionally I won't get over there, and so much dust builds up on the rails that it will like
lock up on you one day,
it'll
right?
lock up the rails. And the first time it happened, it freaked me out. But, you know, I did a little digging, and basically that dust will get into the ball screw and kind of gum everything up, and you got to clean it out. So dust collection is super important. Super important.
That's the one thing I would stress, especially if you're connected to the house in any way. But as far as like, he's asking about like the Avid or go with a different machine. So Avids are very good, very fine machines. To me personally, I think it sounds like you're a serious buyer. You're looking to put some money down. I think you need like a really solid, dedicated one-piece machine. Not that Avid isn't a one-piece machine.
Is Avid not a one-piece machine?
It's a Tinkercad set. Like you
put it together.
You put it together.
It's a bunch of extruded aluminum in a box that comes to your house,
and
like
it's a
50
very
boxes.
solid machine. But it sounds like you're already talking furniture jobs, cabinet jobs, and if you do one, you do a good job, you're gonna have more than you know what to do with. So I think going into something, and Mike will speak a little better to that, a dedicated large machine, whether you look at Laguna, Penguin, or any one of the other Phantom CNC. Phantom's a good, you know, they make solid machines and they make them a little more affordable. So there's some good options out there that won't necessarily completely break the bank, but you also have to see what can ship to Canada.
A guy that lives close to me, his name is Bill Macbeth. He runs Artisan Made Designs on IG. He just got a 5x10 Phantom, and that thing, that is a really nice CNC. That thing comes with so you don't have to worry about hold downs. Obviously, if you spend enough money, you can get a vacuum bed or whatever. But the Phantom comes with these rollers. That push the material down, and it always keeps it in place. That is a really cool thing. I don't think any other machine comes with those rollers.
No, I think they're the only ones right now in the market. But I want to hear what Mike has to say, because you already talked about some of the expenses or things that you have to also think about with like a really big machine. But
I want to say that a couple things. So Dan was talking about going through so many bits a week. Are they breaking? Or are they just getting dull?
They're just dull.
He's using 5 or
I buy
8-inch bits, right?
I buy the cheap bits on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Well, I buy not cheap bits. So I use 2 bits in my
I'm
shop,
probably
different
ending
bits.
up spending more money on bits than Mike is. Which is
I guarantee
probably
you are if you're doing that. So I typically use the Vortex bits or the Bits and Bits. So here's the like real. I'm an affiliate with Bits and Bits, and I do like their bits. I like their router bits a lot. Their CNC bits just can't run as fast as Vortex bits. And I'm not an affiliate with Vortex at all. I get nothing from that. But I will say, like, running like bits, like those bits from Vortex last forever, and their sharpening is very reasonably priced, like really reasonably priced.
Oh,
yeah, you can send your bits in to resharpen them, and they send you back like their new dimensions or whatever.
Yeah, so you do your offsets for your tool. I mean, you just change, like, you go into your tool in Aspire or VCarve, and you actually change the diameter from 2.25 to 0.24997 or whatever it is now, because they've taken off stuff. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is those I can't run a Bits and Bit, which is a white side bit with their Astra coating on it. I can't run it even sometimes a third of the speed I can run a Vortex bit. So when I have like a production job that has to go crazy fast, it's definitely going to be Vortex, and those bits last a very long time. I mean, we can keep cleaning them with acetone. That's another thing to keep in mind. Clean your bits with acetone, because and a wire brush, either the copper or stainless steel wire brush, because they will get pitch on them, and then that pitch will heat up, and then it becomes just petrified on there. And you just throw that bit in some acetone, and usually that'll add another few weeks to your bits. So
I need to do that.
I don't know, people. I mean, it'd save you a lot, honestly. Throw it in acetone, hit it with a wire brush, it cleans it off really well. So we
acetone,
get that. We
never thought about that. That's smart.
It breaks down the pitch. Pine Sol works too, but acetone everyone kind of has in the shop anyways.
I drink it.
DA, denatured alcohol works, but we can't get that out here in California because of all the arugula.
It's illegal.
But anyways, so yeah, bits. I tend to spend money on them because, well, I mean, honestly, I don't feel like I am. Like, their end mill, like an 1/8 inch end mill, I want to say is like $35-$40, but I will put that head to head with any of the Amana or Bits and Bits hands down, or any of the ones from Amazon. They're just going to last longer. Like I have the same 3 1/8 inch end mills that I've had for 2 years now. Like,
Wow.
They just don't break.
But you've
and they
resharpened
last.
them, right?
You can get.
I've only had to send one out for resharpening.
Oh, really?
That's
Maybe
how long
I need to look
last.
into that, because right now I'm buying. So like I'll buy a 5-pack of Tool or Sep
They're
Tool. I
just
can't
not good
remember,
quality,
on
dude.
Amazon, and they're like $60 for
Buy
a
some
5-pack.
Vortex bits and see how long they last you, and just put it up against there. You're spending so much on it, you might as well.
Maybe I should.
Just do it. Then find out. And if I'm wrong, that's fine. Stay with your spay tools. I mean, but find out what works for your business. That's what I'm saying. My point is everyone's does things differently, so it may not work out better for Dan. But I
might just be running the wrong speeds and feeds. I'm just
That's something I was gonna
But
say.
the
It
thing
could
with-
be that you're running
the
too
thing
hot.
with nothing runs faster that I've used than the Vortex bits. So you might throw Vortex bit in there, but I think you've used them before and had an issue or something. I can't remember.
I
what it
did,
was,
but I think I ordered the wrong thing.
You
and they
ordered
snapped.
up.
Oh, you ordered a left-handed.
Oh,
No,
lefty.
you ordered a
ordered
left-handed.
left-handed.
A
That's right.
lefty.
You
Yeah.
ordered a left-handed one. You know what's cool about my new CNC is I can change the spindle direction with a button push, so I can run a
Oh,
left-handed.
that would be
bits now.
dope.
Isn't that cool?
So runs
I can
American
change
and
the direction.
Australian.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It does
cool.
either way. Shrimp
Until
on
you
the
do it wrong.
barbie.
Yeah, Barbie setting.
South Africa. No. So yeah, bits are the thing that you're gonna. I mean, I have so many. I have a drawer just full of different bits for different jobs. Like I said, I really do like Bits and Bits a lot, and I mean, Vortex is just, for me, it's just unbeatable. But yeah, the Bits and Bits and Vortex, those are great. I think if you're not running a heavy production machine, I think the Bits and Bits are just fantastic. Like they just really are great. They work really well, but they just can't go as fast as the Vortex bits. And honestly, like, time is money for me, so it's just not really a thing. But anyways, the dust collection we talked about, I think that just you need dust collection just because a couple things. Obviously, you don't want to die from the dust, but the air coming over your bit actually helps cool it too. That moving air in that boot helps keep it cool a little bit too, if you're running things a little bit faster. So that's really helpful. And then depending on your machine, I'm going to kind of talk about Avid. So I have nothing specific against Avid. I just know that everyone who gets an Avid and really uses their machine always upgrades to something else. But that's not to, I have a Laguna and I upgraded to another Laguna, but I mean, I knew that Laguna Swift was going to be my entry level CNC.
That's a big entry level CNC.
But I will say that I'm not getting rid of my Swift because it still has a place in my shop, and it's a good machine for one tool jobs. If we don't have to do a tool change, it's a great machine for that.
And you can get it with a tool changer, right? It's an option.
You can get it with a vacuum bed, but no tool change on the Swift.
Okay.
So I think Laguna's running a 20% off sale right now. I'm pretty sure you could get a Swift, like the one I have without a vacuum bed, the 4x8 Swift, for cheaper than the $20,000 4x8 Avid. I'm almost certain you can get that right now. And that's a rigid frame that comes to you delivered as a rigid frame.
That's
now, some
what I
people
meant by,
that's
like,
not
one
an
piece.
advantage. Yeah. It's a solid welded piece of tube steel.
Unibody.
Unibody, yeah. And the thing is like, some people are like, I think it was Derek from Malden. Yeah, it was Derek. Me and him were talking. He's like, I could only get the Avid because he has this small workspace where he can't even bring in the CNC. He had to bring the CNC in parts and build it in place. That was the only way to get him in there. So that's another thing to factor in.
That's a good point.
And then soft, and I won't go into it again, but Dan said software. Depending on what you do, there's a lot of different software out there. Aspire is what I have. VCarve Pro is probably all you need. Honestly, VCarve Pro is probably all I need.
Yeah.
I don't use the Aspire side of my Aspire because honestly, the 3D modeling in there is garbage, and there's so many other programs that do it better than that.
Fusion,
like Shaper. Fusion is. I mean, I love Shaper 3D, man. It is such a great piece of software for the price. I'm all about it. I can't speak enough good about it, but Fusion is fantastic. SketchUp, I just keep hearing it's just getting worse and worse from everybody. I keep hearing worse and worse things about it. So, yeah, hard pass for me on SketchUp. But there's a lot of good software in it, but that costs money, and a lot of that's subscription based. So factor that into your monthly cost. I pay for Mosaic. If you're going to get into cabinets, I highly recommend Mosaic.
That's
but I pay
pricey,
$150
right?
$150 a month, but not
okay.
really.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, $150 a month for what it makes, for how much. I mean, literally, anything I draw up in there would normally take me 2 hours to draw up in Shaper. That's more than $150 an hour for my billing rate. So,
Dude, and I'm looking at Laguna's site right now. You can get a 4 by even a 5 by 10 Swift for $22,900.
Yep.
That's pre-sale. I think that's just their like.
That's like
I don't know why I thought it was like in the 30s. Like,
no,
there's some of the bigger
the Swifts are only in the 20s. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
they're
you
not
can get a Swift vacuum bed, the 5 by 10 for $25,400. But keep in mind I think Mike, you said that takes like a big 3-phase system. Because
they convert it down in. I mean, mine has a 3-phase spindle and a 3-phase vacuum pump, but they have VFDs in the. Oh, you just dump a bunch of single-phase power into it, and a VFD converts it to 3-phase.
Neat.
So I have 2 VFDs in my cabinet, and it converts it all to 3. Honestly, like when we turn on the CNC and the vacuum pump, it does not dim the lights nearly as much as my air compressor when it fires.
Oh, really?
Up. Like, yeah, like the air compressor. Yeah, the air compressor, like everything goes boo for a second, but when we fire up the CNC, I was worried it was going to be so much power in the machine, but I think they Thanks, bud. I think they were trying to. I don't think a lot of people have as much power in their shop as I do. Yeah. So I think they were kind of like underselling, over delivering kind of a situation with that. Yeah, yeah. So also keep in mind power. You're going to need power. That brings another good point. You're going to need to run electrical. You're going to need to have enough power for that machine. An Avid machine, I want to say I think their 4x8 base is going to be a 5 horsepower single phase and a 7 horsepower 3-phase option. If I remember straight. I will give you my experience with Avids. Here's my experience. And this is not an owner of one, but as someone who's helped 3 friends put together their Avid machines. They rock a lot more than you think they should. In every situation, the people I know who have put them together, or I've put them together with, have had to bolt them to their floor and walls to keep them from rocking while running jobs.
And also, you're going to have to go back and retighten some screws later.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with it. Like I don't like putting together. It's not fun. It is a lot of stuff. I don't want to put together CNC. I just want to learn how to use it. It's a mean
Lego.
Yeah, it's just like
Lincoln Logs.
What I'm saying is time. Time costs a lot of money. Like time is my most valuable resource for me, and I've already spent a week learning my new machine. If I had to spend another week putting it together, I would just be like, this is too much. It took
a week for a professional CNC user with similar machine knowledge to get up and running with that thing.
Yeah.
Now imagine, that's a great point.
Like it's time. Like it took me months to learn my Swift and how to get in up and running with that thing. Like
if you're coming into the CNC world without any prior knowledge, that's gonna take a lot of time. Yeah.
I remember when it finally clicked for me, like, oh, I get this now. Like I was just doing stuff, like doing it, and you just do it over and over again and then it finally clicked, and I was like, oh yeah. Okay, now this makes sense why I'm doing this. So, but now, anyways, just think about your time. Sorry, this is such a long answer to this. Sorry, guys. Anyway,
it's a thorough answer. We get asked this all the time, but we usually talk about smaller machines, so it's nice to.
Well, we never get asked the questions about auxiliary costs, though. I thought that was a really cool question about this. So, really good question, Jeremy. Thanks for asking that. I would say the Phantom. I mean, I'm going to say Laguna because I'm a Laguna whore. I love Laguna, but Laguna
skank.
The Phantom is. I don't have any experience with it, but people seem to be just very, very happy with that. I don't know anything about the Penguin. I think it's probably made in the same exact factory as the Phantom and probably the Lagunas. I think the Phantom and the Penguin look exactly the same to me, like exactly
Justin
the same.
has another one. He's got some other company too.
Justin.
Rusted Grains.
Oh, he has Torque. That machine looks nice. That doesn't have its own post processor. Justin likes not having that post processor. I like having the separate post processor tower because it's got all the stuff, all the settings in there. Mm-hmm. It uses Mach 4. I think the Phantom uses Mach 4 as well. I think a lot of those machines use Mach 4. You install that on your computer, and that is your post processor. Mm-hmm. I think that's similar to I believe that's what the Onefinity does too, right? You have a post processor. In your computer. Is that how it works?
No, it's part of the machine itself.
Oh, it's the little computer on your on your.
Well, it has a computer. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah,
but that you just put a file that's on your thumb onto that little computer, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, then it has its own post processor built in.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I'd say like look at what people are using on Instagram or wherever. Reach out to the people. Everyone's happy to talk about the machine they're using with pros and cons. Like, but I mean, you can't go wrong with the Laguna. I just know they make solid machines. Mike can attest to that, and everyone I know that has one is very happy with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of great machines out there. Get the best ones, Laguna. The next one is from Malcolm. Yes, thank you. Malcolm has this to say.
Hey guys, it's Malcolm from Bambu Woodworks. This week my question is about a reel that I created as a joke that just keeps getting views and likes, and I can't really figure out why. So I have a very small following, which I'm grateful for, on Instagram for Bambu Woodworks, but I created this reel as a joke on April 1st of me building a birdhouse and then burning it. And throughout all of April and just about every day, I'm getting more and more views and likes and shares from people that I'm guessing are not my audience, which is not a problem, but I can't figure out why. The reporting suite for Meta kind of sucks. So I can't, have you ever been in this kind of a situation where you just can't figure out why something keeps growing? And what have you done about it? Okay, thanks.
Dan.
Welcome to Instagram. Nobody knows anything.
Nope.
I mean, if we could figure it out and we had the answers and we could replicate it, I mean, man, we'd be rich people. I mean, we could bottle that up and sell it. But yeah, nobody knows, man. It's a crapshoot. You just never know what's going to take off. It could be the dumbest thing to like go take off and go viral, quote unquote. And you know, you spend 3-4 hours on a post or whatever. Hardly anybody sees it. Like 1% of your followers see it. So nobody knows, right, Pete?
Nobody knows. We've all experienced that, like random post popping off and you grow like a couple thousand in like a few days out of nowhere. Sometimes it's not even one that's a new one. Sometimes it's something from like weeks ago. Suddenly you're like, how is this at 4 million views? And like, you're like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to let it coast. There's still to this day posts from like months ago that I'm still getting active like comments and likes on. What you do about it? Nothing. Enjoy the ride. Occasionally stoke the fire and feed the trolls in there and just, you know,
absolutely
answer a couple of questions. Because the engagement in the comments is what keeps that wave going. So I would, I would just enjoy the ride. That's it. Mike, what do you think?
I think I don't know what you're looking to get out of the questions you're asking, honestly, man. I mean, you're just not in control of it. Like, it's literally Zuckerberg's platform, and things just happen randomly there, and none of it makes sense. And there's no point in even trying to spend time making sense of it, because you never will. And then as soon as you think you kind of figured some of it out, they change it. So it doesn't even matter. Just enjoy the growth. Take it for what it is. Make your stuff how you want to make it. Don't let it stress you out. Don't let it run your day. Just make content, throw it up, share the thing you want to share, and then just move past it. Like, if it does well, great. If it doesn't, who cares? It's whatever. It's just a stupid social media platform.
Yep.
The next question is from Mark Alms from Valhalla Workshop.
Hey guys, Mark Alms from Valhalla Workshop here. If you three had to do a build challenge similar to the festival event that Mike did recently and could draft just one more teammate, who would it be? The catch is that it can only be someone who you've had on your show as a guest. Thanks, guys. And also, just want to say thanks for all the motivation. You know, I've been wanting to create content for a few years, and listening to this podcast for a while now, and also the timing of Drew Witt's latest Maker of the Month challenge finally inspired me to do my biggest build yet and make a YouTube video out of it and enter his competition. So just want to say appreciate what you guys are doing for all us listeners. Cheers.
Chris Giffro, Cowdog, because he's one that would not, like, none of us would incorporate as much like pressure fit or hand cut joinery as he would. And if we're doing some kind of
build, but what if you had to get the piece of furniture done in a reasonable amount of time? Who would you choose? I'm just joking.
Chris and a bunch of volunteers that will work for free Suizan saws. So Chris and like a backpack full
I love you, Chris. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think he would bring something that none
Chris
of
would be
us
great to do a project
traditionally,
with.
like all of us could do in some form, but none of us would think first to incorporate that in there. And like I said in a pre-show, if we wanted like a handicap, more of a challenge, I'd bring on like Paul Jackman or someone. Kidding, love you, Paul. Dan, what do you think?
Well, we all kind of went to a festival challenge once, so we kind of all know how it goes. And when you're doing that, you are on a serious time crunch. And the only person that I could think of is Jimmy DiResta. Like, that guy can work so fast, and he's wicked smart, and he can come up with processes that are just like, it's kind of mind-boggling the way he thinks. So I would pick Jimmy. Absolutely. Mike?
You can't say
sorry,
Jason.
I already. No, not Jason. I already done it with Jason Bent. And I did one. I was gonna say
personal life.
we did,
keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I did one with Eric Curtis. Like, me and him work really well together. So I won't say Eric because I did the one at Rubio with Eric Curtis. So that was, but probably Amanda Russell.
She's great.
Or Michael Alm, because he approaches things so much differently than I would. I really like Michael Alm, his just approach to things. So he's sometimes it gets real, like what Dan was saying, because Dan and Pete didn't kind of do the furniture build like I did. They absolutely did the same furniture build I did. So they did it. It's time crunch. You're trying to move quick. You're moving fast. And Michael is a very calm spirit and being, and that's just a nice person to have around when you're in a time crunch. So, I'd say Michael Alm.
Someone to like keep you mellow.
Yeah, just chill, bro. It's just a piece of wood.
Out.
It's just a piece of wood.
and also, it needs to be someone that's humble enough to occasionally be like, I'll sand for the next hour. You guys work on this joint or something, like, because that's one thing at those Rubio events is like, doesn't matter how skilled you are, somebody ends up doing some like grunt work at some point. And knowing that like everyone's on the same page makes it a lot easier to go through with the whole thing.
Yeah, I got pushed into sanding a lot. What's up
we
with
sanded
that?
a lot. But then we also did a lot of the primary joinery, which was fun. So
nice.
They just put Mike on a router for an hour.
Right. Some straight router work. Well, we have a new segment called,
and you ready?
well, it's this right here. It's called Offcuts, but here's our new jingle for it.
You an official here? Because you have officially
Dan!
given me a boner.
What? I'm gonna do it in post.
He's gonna do
I
it in
thought I was supposed to post.
Do it live.
I'm gonna do it in post.
Do it for everyone listening now. Whatever.
This segment, I'll let
Dan
Pete
did a
explain
thing.
what this is.
Oh, Offcuts, it's definitely not a ripoff of anything else that any other podcast does, but it's basically just you guys calling in and giving us your 2 cents, your little offcuts of knowledge.
Feedback from previous
episodes, or something we missed, or something that we might
It's a
find
time for
interesting.
you to let your voice be heard.
Yeah, and it's not your soapbox, so don't be calling in here going off on
What's
a
on
rant.
my soapbox?
But Michael called in with some good information, or wrote in, I think. I don't know.
Wrote in.
You wrote in?
From Michael Rusiello. I hope I pronounced that right, Michael. Sup, gang? When y'all are needing work holding for your CNCs and you want to use a nailer, get yourself a fiber nailer. It shoots plastic nails that the CNC can plow through, and you won't F up your sometimes expensive bits. When you're ready to pull off your material, they'll pull right off or snap off clean. If they need any cleanup, just hit them with an offcut or a chisel, and it's like nothing's there. Gas nailers are pretty common in construction. I've seen them mostly as framing nailers. Look up Pass Load. They're legit. Thanks for what you're doing, Mike.
So let me ask you this.
No problem, Mike.
Does your fiber laser shoot
Nope.
plastic lasers?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how it dents the metal in it.
That's why I got it, so I could do it for my hold down needs.
Yeah.
I pick it up and hold it over my piece.
He's gonna set it above his Laguna. No, those fiber nails are super cool. They're basic plastic nails. Your CNC bit
That's
will not
probably
get damaged
really
at all.
good for the environment.
It's the only downside with it is the nails will only work in their gun, and I forget Raptor nails, Raptor or something. I think that's look up Raptor and plastic nails, and you'll find it. It only works with their nail gun. The nail gun is like $200 or something. I don't fact check yourselves on it. But the nails are really cool, and you could save your bits, but I don't like the idea of just like being stuck with one company and having to get my nails through them and the nailer and all that stuff. So somebody please invent plastic nails that go in regular guns.
How about we just use domino hold downs and hold down everything with a domino?
Your pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way
they're made of wood, so just glue them down and
just glue it into your spoil board.
There you go.
Eventually, your whole entire spoil board is just like half dominoes, like side by side.
Ingrained dominoes.
Ingrained domino board.
Oh God. Like $25,000 tabletop.
I brought this up in the pre-show. Wasn't there? I want to say it's a Swedish company that kind of started inventing a nailer that shot wooden nails.
Yeah, we did this. We talked about this on the show.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Obviously, it's an expensive option, but you can make a pretty easy vacuum bed. I mean, I've been talking about my vacuum bed throughout the week, and what's that orange? Is it Stepcraft?
Stepcraft.
Yes.
You can get that from Rockler?
No, you can get it from Tools Today. But they have
Tools Today. Okay.
They have a vacuum bed system that runs off of a shop vac. I mean, you don't need a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, it literally you plug a shop vac into it, and it creates enough megapascals for the thing to run. It's only like a
megapascals. Is that actor guy?
Yeah, he played Mandalorian. He played Mega Mandalorian. Mega Pedro Pascal, his older brother.
He started that mega website, Pascal.com.
Yeah, Pascal.com.
If you weren't in the pre-show, that makes no sense.
Megapascal.com. I mean, it doesn't even make sense if you were in the pre-show. No,
that's fair.
What were we talking about? I don't know. I mean, vacuum beds. It seems like you can attach them. I bet you could probably make a pretty sick vacuum bed for your Onefinity setup.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to get to.
There's some
I've seen them in forums. I bet you just hook up like a shop vac to it and it does its thing.
By the way, I just looked it up. That nail gun is $353 for just a nail gun.
Bad.
For a nail gun.
I mean, it depends on how much work
cheaper
you're
than
doing.
a vacuum bed.
maybe not. Actually,
I mean, the hold down system that I stole from Mike, it just works great. So I won't be switching anytime soon. Those inline
dude, vacuum beds are sick, bro.
I mean, if I had coffee money, I would.
I think you. No, it's not even money. I don't. No. I'm saying I think you can make them out of PVC piping for your Onefinity.
I don't know how to make things.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that on a woodworking podcast. That's
breadboard. Find out, Dan.
Breadboard.
Is that your Tourette's? Is that what you like scream out?
Breadboard.
Lovely breadboard end.
Sushi God.
All right. Is that all the questions?
That's all the questions.
I think that's it. And off cuts. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What a sexy episode.
Let me do the outro jingle for the.
We have an outro.
Yeah,
outro.
You an official here? You have officially given me a boner.
Oh, so much editing. You guys hate me.
Not.
That's
it's
basically what's happening here.
And it's like 5 edits total.
Oh.
That's the show. Pete won't be here next week. He's gonna be in Poland, sunning, eating kielbasis.
Does Poland have beaches?
Yes, I grew up next to one. Thank you for knowing that.
Was it like warm?
Yeah, it's the same
I just
climate
imagine
as
Poland's always really cold.
Yeah, me too. I just imagine him out there ice fishing.
It was a lateral move from Jersey.
It's same climate as Jersey, really?
Basically, yeah. It's like I would say maybe like
you get summers.
It's a little more like Connecticut, so it's like a little cooler winters and stuff.
But I always pictured like
20 minutes away from the beach. No, the Baltic Sea's right there.
And you and your family would go out
rolling up with your kielbasi bowl.
All of our Polish calamari.
Kielbasi bowl.
That actually is a thing that you probably can find in Poland.
It's crying. Why is our food so bad?
Kielbasi and kraut. That sounds
Listen,
lovely.
if you put a bunch of kielbasi
that sounds good.
in a bowl, that sounds pretty good. Hot dogs, sad.
Okay. Kielbasi bowl.
All right, let's get on the show.
Beat at that sad
Next
things.
week, Dan and I know Pete will probably have a guest. Who even knows?
Perhaps.
This is only the second time I've been gone in 3 years.
The first time you were gone, we had Lefty.
Thank you.
I say we do a
Thank you.
throwback and bring Lefty again. See
Bring
if we
Lefty
can-
on
You
and
wanna
have
do all
him
that editing
delete
again?
his audio again.
But have him do everything in reverse.
Right. It'll be
Righty?
the
Can we do
Benjamin
that?
Button episode.
We'll just this is what we'll do. We'll record a regular episode, but I'll flip his track around and put it in reverse, and it won't make any sense. It'll be great.
It'll just sound like Dark Side of the Moon.
That's how they did that. All right, let's get out of here. This is ridiculous.
Mike, outro. Okay, everyone have a great week. We're doing ASMR. Bye-byes. No, everyone, we'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you to all our patrons. You guys are kind of the best. We appreciate everything you do and all your support.
They are the best.
We will talk to you guys real soon. Share the show. People
Share
used to
the
put this
show.
thing in their stories, and they don't do
Share
that
the show.
anymore.
Yeah,
And I
please
don't know what
do.
that's about.
Yeah,
Go
maybe
watch us on YouTube, please.
we should do that too.
Yeah,
We're
maybe
pretty
we
bad
should
with
share.
Twitch.
Maybe we should share too.
We should share the show.
Everyone, share the show and tag 20 of your closest friends, and then make sure that they reshare it. and
Or
share
you'll
it.
have
You gotta. Yeah, there you go.
MLM
It's
marketing.
like chainmail. Forward it to 10 friends, otherwise you're gonna die in a hot dog bowl accident.
Good save. I don't know where it was gonna go, but it felt AIDSy. All right, everyone, have a good week.
Hot
We'll see you
dog
later.
bowl ends.
Bye.
Love you a long time.
Bye-bye.